I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert in footballs. I'm not an expert in football measurements. But they put on football. So goddamn hard to hold on to it.
Week 9, Fantasy Millionaires, wrapping up Monday night's game with you. I got Scott Stack Simpson, and I'm Mike Cash Collins, and we're doing our thing here live on a Monday night. What's popping?
I gotta say, who are you, and what have you done with my co-host? I don't recognize you, sir. You look completely different. The man that I love and know has a big bushy beard just like me. Who are you, and what have you done with Mike Collins?
Do you think Viking Beard Oil will still sponsor this little Jason Priestley 90210 beard?
You look like you went straight to like the 80s. You like, do you have like leather gloves on with holes in them and stuff?
I went from Trump to Biden.
Speaking of that, the other day we were out boating. You and myself and another friend out on the water, out on the Potomac River, right in Washington D.C. It was the day after the election. It was Wednesday. A pin could have dropped in the town. Nobody was there. Nobody was on the water but us.
What's happening here?
We just got phased out on the internet. We're back. Okay. Yeah, we look like three straight Trumpers. We had red hats. We had bushy beards, pea coats. Yeah, it was a thing. But we survived. We made it through, and you shaved it off. Tell me, how do you feel right now with no beard?
I'm not going to say there wasn't moments of sadness, I mean, but this beard when you grow a beard like that, it takes work. Like, you have to go through, there's peaks and there's valleys, and the valleys for me lately are flossing and regularly getting hairs in between my teeth. And those some of the bitches are hard to get out. Like, if you get a little mustache hair in between your teeth over here, like, next thing you're sitting there and it's just sitting there, and then the floss is getting caught with it. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say, like, when the barber started shaping it up, there was this moment where I was like, in the Wolf of Wall Street, he's about to resign, and then he's like, I'm not going to fucking do it. I'm not going to do it. You're not getting rid of me. I was starting to feel that way. I was like, I'm going to keep it. And then I was like, no, I'm sick of it. So it'll be back. I think what I'll do next, 2021, I'll start it at the beginning of the season and grow it for a full season. So.
Okay. I like it. I've had my beard since October of 2019. I've been pimping this bad boy. So it's been a whole year for me. And I was impressed, man. I thought yours was a little longer than it was. Yours was only like 3-4 months. So it wasn't
5 months. 5 months.
Yeah, you weren't rocking it out. So but you know what? I do love the beard talk, but you know what? My beard's not going anywhere, folks. So don't worry. If you're here for the beard, if you love the beard, stick around. We got more to come, less beard related, more NFL related. Let me just ask you, what popped for you in week 9? What stood out for you? And why was it Josh Allen? I'm sorry. Go ahead. You go.
A few things popped. Jake Luton. He
You mean spin move Luton?
He threw that nice ball to Chark right at the beginning of the game. Kind of keeps the Jags fantasy relevant. That popped. The Alex Smith fear was part of week 9. It's just so scary now that he's back there again. I just don't want it. I really don't want to see anything bad happen to that dude. But he got a touchdown. That was cool.
Yeah. No, wait. Let's say he didn't get a touchdown. He threw a ball, and then Terry McLaurin got a touchdown because that dude, love that guy.
Counts though.
It does.
Pretty cool.
3 interceptions. Those counted too. So
yeah, It's not going to be a great Disney ending or anything like that. But
No, it's not the Mighty Ducks. It might be the Mighty Fucks. So yeah.
Quote of the week, Scott Hansen. That scene where Philip Rivers was lying on his back trying to tackle. Yeah, he said Philip Rivers flailing his arms like he's playing on the carpet with one of his 9 kids. That's awesome. That was definitely the quote of the week for me.
Oh, I love Scott Hansen. I got to tell you, I definitely went heavy bone with it, and I tweeted out a GIF. I made a GIF or a little still. I zoomed in on Philip Rivers. So if you go back and check my Twitter feed, Nimble W numbers earlier today, you'll see that video shrunken down into like a 4-second clip of just him stumbling, falling down, and then as he goes by, just going, ah! It was so great. It was classic Philip Rivers. I loved every second of it. It got me going this morning. I was like, I'm so tired. Content. Look at Philip Rivers. I got to do something with this. So, yeah, it was perfect.
And then he just laid there like he was getting ready to do Snow Angels. Like he was just so defeated.
Well, my favorite thing is I'm playing the Philip Rivers pick 'em every game. If I'm betting man, if I got DK in the neighborhood, now that Maryland legalized, we might have DraftKings sooner than later. Hopefully we do. I'm taking the interception over every week with him, and he's already thrown like 2-3 pick sixes. he's a touchdown machine just for the other team, and so I do love it against a tough matchup in the Ravens where you didn't think he was going to do well, and he didn't. So that's perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Sums up the day. And that was in the beginning of the day. So
did you see Lambo getting bucked too? Like he was about to he got into a scrum, looked like he was about to try and fight somebody.
No, I missed that. Tell me about that.
I just wondering if you remember it. It was like one of those things that like Red Zone went through real quick, and I was like, is Lambo trying to get like a kicker trying to get buck? That's some dangerous stuff right there, bro.
You can't hurt your little pearly feet, man. That's not good.
Yeah. So
what was it? Was somebody coming up on his turf? Did somebody block into him or rough the kicker or something?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened. Then there was a scrum, and the next thing you know, like Red Zone's on it, and then you just see Lambo looking like he's about to like clock somebody. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like this is like in the NFL, they routinely just demoralize and beat up their kickers. I mean, I remember reading stories of biographies of like Bo Jackson and like Joe Gibbs and stuff. Like in the 80s, I mean, I know kickers have gotten a little bit bigger and stronger, but I thought that was wild seeing them go out there getting buck.
Well, you know what? I mean, you're not going to see him out there getting buck anymore because he suffered a hip injury on Sunday during that loss to Houston, and he's out for the season. So, sorry, Josh. You didn't. Yeah, I mean, he had a 59-yard field goal, so good for him. Little kicker shine. Right now, if CD Carter ever did listen to our show, he's definitely got the ears pricked up. They're talking kicker, but yeah, these kickers, man, I don't know what's going on. You got to calm down. Calm down, guys.
Another moment of melancholy struck me as Scott Hansen was like, "We are halfway through the regular season,
128 games.
Yeah,
that was.
Yeah."
Let's pour a little out for all the losers and the haters and all the winners. Yeah, I'm one of those. So
yeah.
Anyway,
hopefully, you guys are doing good. So we only have trade talk. In our league, we go to the 27th, so we only have a few more segments of this. So trade deadlines, I think, in a lot of leagues start this week.
Yeah.
So
you might get more weeks in of the trades.
Get them in. Get them in if you can. Yeah, we talked to a second before the show. We both were kind of like, I don't really have anybody because it's kind of obvious. I mean, yeah, I want what do you give me for Travis Kelce?
Oh, right. Well,
what do you give me for DK Metcalf? So here's somebody that I think is possible to get. Although I do think who's ever held on to this guy, like me in our main money league, it's going to be hard for them to give it up. But I would try and get Raheem Mostert right now. That's somebody that I think you might not have to give you, especially if he's out again, and you have RB2s that you're willing to sacrifice. You know, you have a stable. I would give up a good RB2 to get an RB1 for him. So that's somebody that I think is kind of worth banding about. What do you think about that?
You know, I like it. I think with their team in flux, particularly at the quarterback position, with Garoppolo not being in the lineup anymore, you know, I think you're going to need to rely on the ground game. And you saw it last week with Richie James, who, you know, later I'll mention him in our waiver wire section because, you know, you need somebody back there who's going to get the touches. I mean, I think Kyle Shanahan's playing the Bill Belichick game a lot. He's like, we're just going to see how it goes. You know, he's got a few ideas. He doesn't tell anybody else about them. So it is tricky. But I think once we get Mostert back, it'll be a clear – you're going to play that guy as long as he's healthy. Yeah, so I do like that. See, just talk to the owner, see how they're doing. They might be out of it already, or they might be, you know, waiting and they need to get a win this week. So they're like, yeah, I'll give him up. He's not playing this week. I like it. I'm going to say Jerry Jeudy, you know, somebody who I think has potential to really bust out. He did last week, you know, scoring over 25 fantasy points for the first time in his career. You know, a couple of touchdowns. He looked great. I heard Scott Barrett on his Fantasy Points podcast talking last week about how some of the film grinders that he talked to in the industry were really upset because Jeudy is already one of the best route runners in the league now. And all the different separation that he could get on folks. Just Locke is not accurate. He's not looking his way. And I think you got a lot of those feelings. People always say like, oh, you know, he's just, you know, not a good quarterback. So it downgrades Jeudy. Well, it's true. But when he does connect with Jeudy, you saw what happened last week when they're coming back yesterday when they're coming back in a garbage role. So, you know, I really do like Jeudy as somebody you might be able to get from an unsuspecting, maybe somebody kind of on the fringe, not really caring that much about their wide receiver 4 because he hasn't been anything for them yet. So
almost not a garbage role. The freaking Falcons, dude. I mean, that was crazy. Oh man, I would have felt so bad if they lost that game. Yeah. Tonight, I think he might have a donut, which I think helps your ability to get him. He's been nicked up a lot this season, but I think you might be able to get him on the cheap, especially if he has a bad game tonight. I would like to target Jamison Crowder in leagues. I think he might be somebody that you can get nice and cheap.
Well, he probably can. I have him in a few leagues. I know I'd be willing to move off of him. You know, I think the problem with that offense is that they suck.
They do.
They do.
They do, but you know, generally he gets 7 targets or more a game. So you know, he's had double-digit targets in, you know, all the games he's been healthy, basically. So
yeah. No, I like it. I think it's a good play. You know what? I think that's it for me. Anybody else that you're thinking that you might be able to get on the trade block this week?
Another injured guy, maybe go after Kenny Golladay. You know, people, you know, you go after, you know, I mean, you're taking risk too, but there might be people who, you know, owners that are just tired of dealing with the headache of owning that dude. So yeah, you might be able to get him on the cheap. So those are my suggestions. So
yeah, but Bo McBig Time jumped in there with Kareem Hunt. You know what? I'm a Kareem Hunt owner in all of my leagues. Got him in Scott Fish, got him in the Big Money League. You know, I'm not gonna let go of him. I know that people get scared because you know, our guy Chubb was kind of pulled off the IR, but don't be scared. That makes
I like that suggestion though. That's good thinking.
It is a good suggestion.
That's a perfect person for trade talk because people are going to be a little bit scared with Chubb, and you know,
of course, he's got great value. Right now, Baker Mayfield, though, straddling the COVID list. Watch that. See what's going on. He doesn't have it, but there's a close contact, they said. So we're in another era, brother. You got to keep your COVID head on a swivel. But hopefully we turn a corner and we can all kind of move past this in 2021. What else you got on the trade front? Anybody else, or you want to jump into elevate, mitigate, and eviscerate?
Let's do some elevate, brother.
I'm gonna start. And I gotta say, last week we kind of buried the Cowboys, and we were both very vociferous about it, and I led the way. And I've got CD Lamb on my team, and I didn't play him. I was like, ugh. He caught a touchdown. He had over 16 or 15 fantasy points. He looked good still. He dropped a few passes too that he could have had even more points on. So I'm gonna say, depending on what happens next week, if Gilbert is still in, if things are still going, I think he is somebody you can put back in your flex. I'm not worrying about, for him, he's going to get that volume, I think, just being in the middle of the field, particularly. You get less time for plays to develop. The Cowboys line has not been good this year. It's just not. They've lost several starters. So I like CeeDee Lamb, though. I'm putting him back from my bench, back into my starting lineup.
He fits, that guy, Garrett Gilbert, fits the mold for making that the players on that team viable again, because the line is just so beat up that you have to have a mobile quarterback. So
yeah,
all of a sudden they bring this guy off the practice squad, and he's running 25-yard chunk plays, and can move around the pocket. He still sucks, but for fantasy, I think it brings those guys. It puts some oxygen back into that team as far as fantasy purposes. So yeah, I like that.
Yeah. That's my first one. I just wanted to get that off my chest because I was talking to Mike about changing my team name and moving off of CDs, TDs to, maybe, Mr. Unlimited, but he's limited himself last game to several turnovers. So Matt Ryan outscored him. I got him on my bench too. We're under critical evaluation time for Mr. Russ here. So I'm going to stick with, I know. We're sticking with CDs, TDs is what we're going to do for now.
All right. I got a wide receiver for you. Week 10. I like Tim Patrick.
Ooh, I like that call as well.
Yeah. Again, we're trying to pick fringe guys, not obvious. So Patrick has he's had a big role in that offense. And in week 10, they play the Vegas Raiders. The Raiders.
Vegas.
Yeah. So week 9, I think he had 9 targets. He's playing not a very good corner, Trayvon Mullen. Vegas is horrible in coverage. They give up a lot of points. So I like all 3 of those wide receivers. I like Judy. I like Hamler. I like Patrick. I think they're all viable options. As a flex, especially in deeper leagues, and they will be guys I'm throwing into different fantasy lineups as well.
Yeah, no, I
mean daily fantasy.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. I think somebody who immediately gets elevated, by the way, not that it needs to be said, but Mike Davis, Christian McCaffrey is hurt. If you're a Christian McCaffrey owner and you're like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Well, nope. He is hurt. His shoulder got banged up. And so Mike Davis, I hope you didn't do anything with Mike Davis. I wouldn't have done anything with him. Maybe traded him, moved him for something beforehand. I don't know, to the McCaffrey owner possibly. But he's back in. Make sure you get him in your lineups this week because he's going to be back to, RB1 status. And that's in that offense. I mean, that's a top 10 back every week. So if you could trade for him or I don't know how that works too. He'd be somebody you could try to sneak over on,
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater is putting himself together a nice season too, in terms of fantasy points. He's just routinely, getting the ball in the end zone one way or the other. So, I think Mike Davis he's going to be back in, the upper 6s in DFS world for a price. So.
Yeah, he and you should be. Bowman Big Time jumping in. Somebody last week, speaking of DFS, priced at 4,800. My man John Brown. I think John Brown is definitely an elevate in this offense. Josh Allen elevates everybody. He elevates. I mean, he does. Look at Moss. Moss is crushing it as well. So, I'm a big fan of the John Brown call up. That's a great kind of flex play. I do like that. That's from Bowman Big Time. We also have a couple. My guy Michael Reedy. It looks like he's changed his name to the Waiver Wire Wonder. All right, Michael. That's awesome. Me and Mike are both fans of Michael Reedy. Shout out the Undroppables and that whole crew over there. They're great guys. He says Curtis Samuel. What do you think about that?
He was definitely on my waiver wire ads. He just I actually, wanted to point that out. The CMC injury. It adds value to Samuel because he looks great when they get him back there and give him the ball. I mean, he looks like Alvin Kamara. That's what he's got, that squiddy kind of movement to him. He's so quick and he finds these little pockets and exploits them. So yeah, I think that's great. He was on my waiver wire, but he's probably owned in a lot of leagues too. So I was going to mention that. I like it. They are playing the Bucks, so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I didn't put him as somebody that I necessarily want to start versus that defense. I think I would probably be a little hesitant, but if you're thin, he's definitely a viable option. Yeah.
No, I like it, and elevating players is key during this time. Picking the right guys off of the waiver wire. I think having a DFS mindset kind of going forward. We're moving into week 10 now. You only have about 6-7 weeks left to win. And if you're in the hunt for the playoffs to get in, most playoffs start week 14. So this is 4 weeks left until the end of the regular season. So you got to make hay right now, which means you might have to look at players who you wouldn't normally consider. And so I understand Curtis Samuel might not be the first choice, but he's been consistently getting targets and carries. The carries is what gets me too. Like he even got some carries yesterday with CMC back. So I think he's a sneaky little play. We'll see how he's priced this week in DFS. My guy Michael Reedy says he's only 33% rostered, which that makes sense. He, at the beginning of the year season, he didn't really do anything, but I think that is a good pickup. Bo says it's time to party. I need more information, Bo.
Bo likes to party. Bo knows party.
Bo does know party. Man, what does not Bo know? I don't know. No, I like it. Anybody else you're thinking about?
Yeah, I've got couple running backs, tight end, and quarterback. So that's the way we try and do it. We try and pick the guys for elevate that you might not elevate, and we make a case for them. So here's a guy that I think everyone's going to be tempted to sit this next week. Especially if he has a concussion. Dreadful 2.1 yards per carry, David Montgomery. If he is active and he is playing this Sunday, I expect him to go right back into the RB2 role that he's been all season long. I think that they're going to play the Vikings. So my prediction as far as game script is it's going to be more of an ugly game. That's how it typically is with the Bears. I think that the Bears actually are good against the run. They held Derrick Henry to 68 yards. So I think that game is not high scoring, and I think that fits in well with David Montgomery. Now, obviously, if he doesn't get through concussion protocol, then the other back that I have for the segment is somebody that I think a lot of people would probably start anyway, but had high expectations this past week. Chase Edmonds. Had a decent fantasy week. This coming week, however, he faces the Bills, who have the worst rush defense in the league. So I'll take Chase Edmonds all day.
Yeah, no, I like that. Somebody who I'm considering picking up a little bit of steam. Who, if this is somebody who you could pick up, or he's already rostered in some leagues I'm in. But I think you're going to play him if he's not rostered. Is J.D. McKissick? He's getting a ton of targets out of the backfield. I love him. He got 14 targets. That's crazy. He's somebody who you definitely want to elevate into your flex just on volume alone in that offense. He was the third leading scorer in fantasy running backs yesterday, which isn't saying a lot. There wasn't a lot of bust out with running backs. It was kind of boom or bust too. You had Cook and McCaffrey, nobody else underneath. But I mean, McKissick has shown week after week. We talked about him last week too, so he's already somebody who we talked about picking up last week. And so if you're following along with us, and hopefully you are, you picked him up last week, and then now you're able to start him, and maybe you started him already, and he got you that 18 points in your PPR league. So that's somebody who maybe is not going to be on the tip of everybody's tongue, but tell him Scott sent you. See how that goes. Alex Smith is going to be in trouble. We talked about it off air or maybe before air. I don't know, man. It's been everywhere. Alex Smith, man, he's one hit away from another Thiesman situation, which we already saw it almost happen with Allen yesterday. That gross, Yeah,
I like the McKissick suggestion because the best Alex Smith does is manage games. That's him at his best. His best. And I think that fits in well with dumping it off to your running back. So
right. Well, and you know what? They're going up against the lowly Lions, who they're not that lowly. They played okay, but they gave up a bunch of yards on the ground, and so maybe it's just completely, Antonio Gibson day. But I don't think it's going to be. I think the Washington football team is going to have to throw the ball a bit too. We actually bet on this game last year for your birthday. If people don't know, Mike looks like he is, 25 and in 21 Jump Street, the original. But he is a cool cat at about to be 41 in a couple
Turning
weeks.
41 in a couple weeks. Yeah,
so
man.
Last year for his 40th, we took a trip to the local casino. And that local is Charlestown, West Virginia, about an hour away from our house. We were kicking it and we were hitting cigars up. We were having the best time. We put the Washington football team, we bet against them. And then the Lions had just beat the Cowboys at their place the week before. It was a great game. We're like, oh, they're going to crush the Washington football team. Nope. We lost all the money. We lost it all. Yeah. And some jerk, who I forget his name, came and he won some crazy 3-team teaser, won $3,000. Just
he did one of those weird teasers where you don't have to put down a lot of money and the odds are horrible. So he put down, I don't know, like $100 on this horrible teaser that had just like the worst odds, and he hit and he won, I don't know, 5,000 or something like that. So
he won it by halftime, and then we had to sit and he left, and he didn't buy us drinks, he didn't give us a lap dance, nothing, no chicken wings. But anyway, I'm looking forward to your 41st because we're gonna go down to DC, which has legalized gambling, and we're gonna figure something out down there.
Definitely trying to get my gamble on. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, gamble. Love gambling. If you don't know gambling, you should meet. Gambling's fun.
I'm glad I didn't bet these games this past weekend, dude. I'm glad I didn't bet the Saints Bucks. Glad I didn't bet Steelers Cowboys.
I was gonna say that was not what anyone expected.
Oh my gosh,
bad times.
Yeah.
Bad times. Yeah. Let me ask you, what is a tight end that you're looking at to elevate this week?
Okay. I got my tight end.
Yeah.
This guy is probably somebody that everybody is been putting in their starting lineup because you probably drafted him in the 3rd or 4th round. And now you're getting ready to say, I'm sick of this dude getting me 5 points.
Is that Mark Andrews?
Mark Andrews. Cash Collins is predicting this weekend a bounce back. I have a fearless forecast, as Yahoo likes to say, of 5 receptions, 50+ yards, and 1 TD.
So you're going in like the 16, 17 point range. That would put him up in the tight end 1-2 quest for the week for sure.
And here's the thing, and this is why I picked him as an interesting person with the segment, is that if you look at New England, they actually have statistically a good rating versus tight ends, but I think it's somewhat fluky. The safety that they're using to cover tight ends on a lot of their coverage packages won't. The thing that I see about this game overall is that this is going to be a great game for Ravens. New England.
Terrible.
Yeah, they're I think second worst versus the run.
Yeah.
So this sets up to make it's a perfect game script for what the Baltimore Ravens want to do.
Yeah.
And I think it sets up nicely for Andrews, because it's the only person Lamar Jackson is capable of throwing to. He can't hit little Hollywood Brown. Like he needs a nice big target. So I think the Ravens are going to dominate the game, and I think he's the person that gets the bulk of the receptions, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a touchdown. So I think a lot of people are going to go on ESPN or wherever and see, oh, New England third against tight ends. I'm sick of this dude. You know, I'm gonna put in Hayden Hurst or somebody else. You know that I think this is your a payoff week for you if you've been starting that guy.
I like it, and so does Bo, and Bo knows. So
Bo does know.
There you go. No, I like it. I was perusing the old tight end files, and somebody who is also a waiver wire pickup. I'm not saying they're a must start, because honestly, tight end it's a tricky wicket. Do
you remember who you had last week that we suggested? I hit on mine. It wasn't great, but it was where I was right. Who was yours? Do you remember?
I actually do not remember.
I don't remember either.
It was. It might have been Harrison Bryant, but I don't think it was. I'm not sure. My memory is fading. I'm old. I'm 43 now, I think. So
we're in our 40s.
We're
middle aged.
Oh man, it's middle age syndrome. No, I like it. Bo Big Time likes it as well. He said your guy Andrews is going to be in his Wednesday article, which will be popping in 2 days over at Nimble.
I did call Ebron last week. He had a touchdown, so double-digit fantasy points. So I'm trying to go for 2 for 2. So who you got for tight end?
Yeah, no, I like it. Somebody who scared you. They did. At least they scared me, because I had him. Is Jonnu Smith? He only had 2 targets last week. Corey Davis caught a nothing burger.
Started him.
Yeah, terrible. So Jonnu Smith, you're gonna go, hey, wait, the Colts, they're strong. Well, they are. But here's the thing too. They're really good against the run. And I know that the Ravens could not run all over them. They ran a little bit, but they couldn't run all over them. And I don't think that Derrick Henry's going to run all over them either. I think they always try to run. I think the game plan every week is run Derrick Henry. 30
rushing attempts.
Which it makes sense. I agree. Which you can always do. But I think that what they're realizing is you have to figure out how to do when you run and how you run in the context of the game flow. It really does matter. And so they're better, and they play more effective when Jonnu gets the ball. And you saw it at the end of the game when they needed to kind of get that, and he got that touchdown at the end. That's the guy. I think they're kind of coming back to Jonnu. So don't overlook him. He's somebody who I was hesitant to start in my own league, and I put him in. I started him, and he paid off. So I think he's somebody who you can stick with next week, even though that's a tough Colts defense. They held Mark Andrews, but like you said, sometimes it's a mirage. Lamar is not the guy he was last year. I think we all kind of know that right now. He's just not. And that defense is not the defense that you're going to let him air it out for 40 plus attempts or whatever it is. So I like Mark Andrews a lot better this week, and I think I also Jonnu Smith as well. So we'll see. They both could get touchdowns.
Yeah. You want to do QBs?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I was trying to go 2 for 2. I called Tua last week.
You did.
I would say Tua again versus the Chargers, but got to bring in some fresh subject matter.
Okay.
Here's a guy that just was in the conversation about 2 seconds ago, and I've been benching him, and I am not going to bench him this week. It is Lamar Jackson.
I like it.
This is the game, man. They're playing the Patriots. Nobody takes it easy on the Patriots. Like they're gonna stomp them. They're gonna score a bunch of points, and this is they're gonna get to finally play their brand of football. And I think because they're so bad against the run, I expect Lamar Jackson to have some really big chunk run plays as well. And their pass rush atrocious. It's perfect for him. He's going to be able to be video game Lamar Jackson this weekend. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing a lot of him in DFS because his price tag's always so high.
Yeah.
But as if if you have him on your team and you're sick of him like I am, I have him in I think at least 3 leagues. I will be starting him this week in multiple leagues.
No, I do like that. Here's somebody who I think you can start this week, and I have a feeling this game is going to be a shootout, and I know maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong 100%, but Derek Carr could be a sneaky little play against the Broncos. You saw what Matt Ryan did to that secondary. Derek Carr, another touchdown to Nelson Aguilar, another touchdown to Darren Waller. I know they run the ball effectively as well, but he could definitely. I could see that game going. The Raiders last week they gave up 28 points, something like that. They gave up a bunch of points. So, this game could shoot. So Derek Carr is a sneaky little play. I know your boy Ruggs hasn't hit yet, but he will. I'm not afraid of Ruggs not hitting. He'll hit eventually. I just think I'm going to go to that well this week and see if it can win me boom, 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 a little bit of the QB pickups.
Preview eviscerate. Henry Ruggs is at the top of my list. Cash's pick of the draft did not hit. I just don't see why you keep that guy on your team. I think he's going to be great in DFS this year. And when you sprinkle him in, he's definitely going to have weeks where he's gets you 20 points. But I can't see why even keeping that guy if you're in like a 12-man league, if there's somebody better on the waiver wire. So
yeah. Well, you know what? Do you have any other guys that you want to put down?
You want to go to mitigate? We'll go to mitigate and eviscerate.
Mitigate.
Again, it kind of gets hard at this point in the season because you know who. You kind of already know this stuff. You kind of know who to mitigate, who to eviscerate. The people I had listed for the mitigate section of this program, Rams running backs, because they're playing Seattle, and the only thing Seattle is good on defensively is the run. They are legit against the run. So I don't like any Rams running back this week, and mainly Darrell Henderson. So
no, I like that. That's a good mitigate. Last week was a tough week for RBs. In general. Honestly, I don't want to be throwing shade at your boy, but if Montgomery comes back from his concussion, you can't mitigate him. But I give him a stink eye. I just think it's a good matchup this week, so that's why I think a lot of people are going to mitigate him. Yeah. And I think that this week, if he's back, right now in our league, it'll change as ESPN updates, but he's 14. Yeah.
He's 14. So he's almost an RB1. And that's not because he's talented. It's just because that's all that they do is they just give him the ball. And he's 14, and I think he has 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's why I picked him, is because I think a lot of people are going to be kind of I'm going to sit him this week, and I think if he plays, he's actually going to go right back to a 15-point game.
No, I like it. What do you think about Jonathan Taylor? He has struggled. He's not gotten out from under either of those running backs. We all thought he kind of have the show. He's not getting me what I need.
People were saying he was better than Saquon Barkley. Like that was the word on the streets.
Well, I think John Helmkamp painted that on the street, and then told everybody that it was true. And then I think John went out and drafted him in like 20 startup dynasty leagues and like leveraged the future for, like, he was doing crazy trades to get him.
Those Twitter streets were lying about that.
Oh, they were so lying. Somebody apologized. It was so funny. Somebody said the other day, "I'm sorry for Jonathan Taylor. I'm so sorry."
Yeah. I'm not saying. Here's the other thing too. I think this is a good year to kind of bring back the idea that you gotta give rookies a little bit of time too. I'm not saying he's not gonna be a good running back. I just don't. I just saw his college film, and I didn't see Saquon Barkley. Is all I'm saying.
No.
I thought the hype was a little bit high, and I think he's an RB2 at best, and if I had a better RB2, I would put him in over him. So
yeah, no, I like that. That's my guy who I'm thinking of mitigating in the RB category. A wide receiver, QB, anybody. We can jump around. We're
again, it's like we said, it's kind of hard, but I'm gonna go ahead and say we don't really know how this Kenny Golladay situation is gonna shake out, but Marvin Jones has a tough matchup regardless with Kendall Fuller and the Washington football team. Kendall Fuller is a legit corner.
Yeah.
And I think you might be tempted, especially, if you have a few different guys, to maybe put him over somebody like John Brown or something like that. And I wouldn't. I'd keep Marvin Jones on the bench if I can this week.
Yes. Yeah. No, I like that. I think that's a good call. Somebody who I think is now mitigatable with John Brown back is Cole Beasley. I love the Bees. The Bees is one of my guys. He's got the little hair coming out the back. He's the Bees. But I picked my guy Gabriel Davis to pop off. I put him in my DFS head-to-head lineup against my guy. I do appreciate him coming on my show on the DFS Money Shot on Saturday night. I had a big time on. I had John Lobb, the gridiron scholar himself, and I whooped him. I whooped him like 168 to like 142, something like that. It was a sound drubbing. And Gabriel Davis got me a touchdown. He should have got me 2. The replay showed he was inbounds and the ball was over. He should have got me even more money. So I love Gabriel Davis. He's somebody I'm going to talk about later in the waiver wire.
Yeah, but he's in my waiver wire too. So.
Beasley. I mean, he'll pop up here and there, but Beasley's not going to get the targets. His target shares are down. His snap percentage is down. I went through and looked at that for my DFS purposes last week just to get the Bills wide receiver snap percentage. And Gabriel Davis is featured whenever John Brown is out. When John Brown is out, normally Gabriel Davis goes down. But now it's Cole Beasley. So
yeah. Anybody else you see as a mitigator, or should we just jump into eviscerate?
It's tough at the QB position, because here's the thing about it. You probably have 2 QBs if you're in the hunt, because if your QB goes down, you can't be like, oh, I guess my $200 is gone. And so I think sometimes it's tricky to look at players each week. Like you said, like Jake Luton, guy got 22 points, I'm not advocating for Jake Luton. He was playing against the third worst defense in the NFL. And somebody said that he practices against the second worst defense in the NFL. I thought that was pretty, he's always, Jake Luton's killing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go advocate for something like that. But, a couple weeks ago, we were thinking that Drew Brees was dusty. I don't think Drew Brees is as dusty. I know he is definitely matchup dependent. I know San
Francisco. So?
Yeah.
You think he's matchup dependent? What I saw in that drubbing was, he looks like he's going to have a great last quarter of this fantasy football season, and I mean, the Bucs are good, and he just went back, went through his reads, and now that he has Michael Thomas, it's just like there's just another gear, and he looked like 2019 Drew Brees. I mean, he was killing it.
Well, no, I'm not advocating to sit him.
But you think he's matchup dependent?
Well, here's the reason why. It's the Taysom Hill factor. It is because you saw what happened last year. The more they got closer to the playoffs, the more the Taysom Hill experiment was implemented. And so I know Drew Brees isn't in love with it, but there's just that. I'm always thinking of like upside potential with my QB. I want the best possible, bang for my buck. And Taysom Hill hanging around, always here to vulture a touchdown or whatever it is. He bothers me, Mike.
I get that. That's a good point. Taysom Hill, he just annoys everybody in fantasy, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, he annoys everybody except if you have him in Scott Fish, because Scott Fish tweeted out something that he has. He was 17th. He beat he's 16th in quarterbacks. He beat everybody else last week. If you had any other quarterbacks, Taysom Hill was scoring more points in Scott Fish than him. So,
I'm not watching the game because I'm trying to do this podcast, but Bo says Flacco on fire. Yeah, the game is 27 points for the Jets, 17 for the Patriots. It's crazy. The Patriots suck. They suck. The Jets are out of the they're gonna be out of the Trevor Lawrence lock. Yeah.
How about them apples, eh?
Yeah.
Harvard Yard, you boss.
If I was the owner, I would be. I would
a massage parlor.
No, I would be spreading COVID to all my starters, dude. Like I would just be trying to get as many practice squad guys on this team as I could. Like this is horrible for them.
Yeah,
they're gonna lose Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, well, he says Perriman has 2 TDs. That guy might be somebody you might want to feature in the waiver wire. So let's do that. Anybody else you want to eviscerate or mitigate or chastigate?
Well, we didn't. We previewed who we want to circumcise from our team. I'm ready. Cash's pick of the draft, Henry Ruggs. I'll be looking at him again next year. And again with rookies, you have to let them develop. But for 2020, he stinks, and you can cut him like our doctors do to the tip of our penis when we're 3 days old.
Oh, not everyone does that, Not everybody is subscribed. Like we were talking.
If you want to have that nice helmet look, you got to do it. So
yeah. Here's the thing that's wild for me, man. Like I'm not eviscerating anybody right now, and looking at my team, man, it's formidable. I mean, Robert Funyon, Bunyan, maybe somebody who I think is maybe droppable, but you never know. He could bust out anytime. You just never know.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't cut him yet. I hear the only other person I listed was, and he might have already been featured in the eviscerate portion of this program in previous weeks, but I've cut him, is Keelan Cole. And he was an RB2 a wide receiver 2 a couple weeks ago. So he cut him.
Yes.
Cut him like the foreskin. Just
this is getting rabbinical.
What are they called? The goyles or
This is the moil.
The moil, yeah. The gamoil. I don't know.
The moil, I think it's with an M.
Yeah, it's the
You're
moil.
making it like a gargoyle moil.
Yeah, bring in the moil and cut
Slice
Henry
it up.
Ruggs and Keelan Cole. Just get rid of them and then put them in your soup and eat them. Because it's good for you. You can make makeup out of them. You can put them into your beauty care products and rub them on your face.
We're going Buffalo Bill on us.
Yeah, no, don't you know about that? Like all the celebs, they get like little foreskins from like Asian babies. Oh, you don't know about that? Oh yeah, no, that's real. There's a whole lot of beauty products that's made out of foreskins. That's the secret ingredient. Swear to God.
I want to
Swear to God.
here.
All these people in Hollywood that look so young, they've been rubbing little babies' foreskins on their cheeks, and we need to start doing it. That's why we wear sunglasses. Our crow's feet.
It works.
We need foreskin.
See, here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to peel back the foreskin here, but like mine's pretty soft now, so I understand back then how soft it would be. You know what I mean? Like, wow.
I don't know the science, but I don't think it's the softness that has anything to do with it. I think there's some greater chemistry afoot, but hey, man, I know Jennifer Aniston looks great, and she's like in her 50s. So, baby foreskin.
It's more than foreskin been near her face. Brad Pitt's, Pitts.
That sucked. But I get where you're going with it. Yeah, right. His balls, maybe. Something like that. Yeah.
I just want to laugh, brother.
That's cool.
I love hanging out.
Maybe he does put his pits. That's probably if I was Brad Pitt, I would take my pit and be like, yo, get some Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. Pit jokes. Not hitting.
No. Kind of hit.
Yeah. You redeemed it. I do. Well, let's talk waiver wire.
Let's do waiver wire. Yeah.
Necessity is the mother of invention, and so normally I would not advocate for Duke Johnson for anything. You know what I mean? I mean, just But
a nice game.
But if he gets in there and he's the RB1 in that offense, I mean, it's an offense. You want the offense. You want the little dump off passes. From somebody who's going to scramble. I think Duke Johnson is just somebody who he might be available on your waiver wire. Grab him up this week. You need him especially if you were a David Johnson owner. Maybe you already had him because you knew David Johnson was a brittle old man. But we'll see how long that injury lasts and if it's just this week or even for a little bit longer.
Yeah, we mentioned Curtis Samuel. If he's available, he's a must-add. Especially with the CMC situation. And I think the CMC situation, let's say he misses only 1 week or whatever, I just think that they're going to play it cool with him. Like I can see Samuel just working in, they could have a triad of backs. So Curtis Samuel, Gabriel Davis were people we've named. I think a back worth picking up and seeing what shakes out too is Devontae Booker. He looked really nice, and I could see a timeshare developing a little bit more if he keeps playing the way he plays.
Yeah.
So that was a back that I think's is noteworthy for the waiver wire segment.
Yeah, I loved it. At one point on Sunday, there was Kalen Ballage and Devontae Booker scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, it's weird.
Instead of Josh Jacobs and Justin Jackson, the JJJs were getting. There was no air horns. There was no JJ Zachariza. None of that. And somebody on Twitter tweeted out, "Hey, just like I said in my lineups." They're bitter. So, I mean, I lost my $100 double up on Justin Jackson. So, you just never know in the NFL. I do like that call, though. I think Booker looked fresh. And, I mean, he ran on that. I mean,
that one where he went around the end, he looked great.
Yeah, he looked really Tyree Foreman-esque.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, the only other guy, wide receiver, and we talked about Gabriel Davis picking up is just to consider is David Moore. You know, I've had him on my team a couple of times here and there this year. That offense, if they're going to play that bad defensively, that offense is just going to have volume, and it can't lock it. You know, is not if they get Lockett, they're like, we're going to lock it down. Nobody can get DK down. That guy is. He went against White and he held his own. He was crushing. I mean, obviously Russell Wilson didn't play well. But I think David Moore is somebody you can play.
I got one more wide receiver, and then we should talk defenses, and then we'll do a little NFL and retweet it. My last wide receiver is KJ Hamler, and he's been featured on the waiver wire segment before. He hasn't hit, but again, there's been a lot of hype around this guy, and he finally had that nice week. 10 targets. I think that you know that trend continues.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they're playing Vegas too, so they're the worst. Like they're literally the worst. So I think is a good ad, and he's a add and start probably.
Yeah.
So that's it for skill positions. You want to talk a little defense?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's obvi, but the Saints, my God.
Yep, they're one of mine.
My God.
Wow.
Yeah. I know Tom Brady and Father Time are arm wrestling right now.
But it wasn't that, man. It was that D. It was the front.
Like the offensive line. I was going to say that wasn't it. That could be blamed old man Tom, but it was that defensive line getting push.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. Just push.
Yeah.
They move the pocket and they move it back in Brady's face. If you play against them, you can roll out. You're a mobile quarterback. You have an advantage. Tom can't do that, and so they crushed him.
You know what that game reminded me of? It was like the exact flip of the Bucks versus Packers, where the Bucks were just collapsing the pocket on Aaron Rodgers the entire game, and you could just see, you know, he gives up a pick six, almost another pick six, and he just gets frustrated, demoralized. It was like Tom Brady got to eat a little bit of that, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Saints for sure. I like the Washington football team versus the Lions. I think that's a good. I think that as far as defenses go, they're decent. They have that great front four rushing the passer, and the Lions they're not scorching the earth. So I think that's a good streamer defense if you can get them. The other game of note, and one or both of these teams might be available, and I'll take either one, is the Giants versus the Eagles. Eagles probably aren't available, but I would take, if either one of those teams are available, I would play either one. So
I think those are great calls. Great call, great show. By the way, I'm gonna go pat it on the back attack.
Air horn. Woo, woo, woo,
woo. Great plays. If you get those plays, you're gonna win every day. That's what we're gonna say. So let's talk a little NFL. What we're looking at here is just kind of the who are you thinking about NFL broken in half, AFC, NFC.
Let's power rank it.
Yeah,
let's power rank it.
You want to build it together? You want to do one of those like top five?
I don't know. I just want to know who's your. Just let's go off the jump. Who's your number one in the NFC and who's your number one in the AFC? Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the Saints.
Yeah.
The Saints.
Yeah. That was just a tremendous.
Yeah.
Authoritative win that they've just put their foot on their neck.
Yeah, that was strong to quite strong.
Yeah. How's your portfolio?
Yeah, it's bulging.
Yeah, strong to quite strong.
Big time. And we're not male nurses either, so it's authentic. And I like them. And then AFC, I'll let you go first since you let me go NFC first. What do you think about AFC?
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Chiefs all day.
Yeah, it's Chiefs. I can't even think of.
I don't know. Steelers. they make an argument. They're undefeated.
Ben's hobbled though. He's the hobbled Ben.
That's why I said Chiefs.
Yeah. I just don't see anybody else. Philip Oldman Rivers and the Colts. No, they're not doing anything this year. The Titans, no, I can't see it. They're just it's no.
There's other good teams. Like you got, I think the other three teams in the discussion are the Bills.
Yep, Bills are strong.
Yeah, Bills. I think the Titans, and I think the Steelers.
Yeah, they're a lower tier. They're a lower tier.
Those are the teams in the AFC. One of those four teams is going to go to the Super Bowl. I can't see anybody beating the Chiefs in the playoffs, though. I think they are not even. I think they're just kind of like a fighter. Just like LeBron James in the regular season, just moving through games and. They might lose to the Raiders or whatever, but when they get into the playoffs, I think they'll kick it up a whole nother notch. Just like crazy weird Andy Reid plays, and it's gonna be awesome.
They do need to establish the run, not establish it because they're fine, but the running game's been a little bit not what it's used to. I mean, they're trying to figure it out with Bell.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, is that they've never really had a good running game. So now that they have these great backs, it was like you were expecting them to see a whole nother level to their offense, and it's there enough, it's there enough. So I think the Chiefs win the Super Bowl again. But I think it's Chiefs. I think Drew Brees gets back. I think this is the year if he doesn't choke it up in the playoffs somehow.
Well, last year they had Taysom Hill in there the whole time. So that darn Taysom.
Yeah. So we got the Seahawks, I'm sure. Who else in the NFC? Packers.
I like Green Bay.
Packers.
They just lost Jair Alexander, so I don't know for how long he left last game. We'll see. I don't know.
And then we got the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks still have to be, that game though. I mean, they're a good team. I think that game just got out of hand quick, and I think it's kind of hard to come back from that. So. I think the Saints have their number. If the Bucks don't have to see the Saints somehow in the playoffs, I think the Bucks could make a deep run, maybe even, but yeah. So those are our four teams for AFC, NFC.
I like it. You want to jump to 3 tweeters?
Trace tweets.
Let me jump in. Let me pick it up. I have the tweet deck up. I'm gonna go to our mentions.
All right, go. We'll do mine first. Go find the Justin Herbert one.
Okay, I'm gonna go check you out. I'm in my DMs, folks. I gotta tell you, I don't know if there's a guy around who's got more sausage in his DMs than me. I don't know. We'll have to see. Let me go to my screen. Sure. I do respect producers a lot more. Now that I have to, and I run a classroom every day. So, I have to produce stuff and pull my screen share up and my videos. And
here we go. It's up. All right. So
hold on.
This is Scott Barrett. He has a picture of Justin Herbert's pimply ass face, and it says, "Bro, if you think Herbert is good now, just wait till he's fully out of puberty." Yeah, heart that.
I'm gonna say I can't wait.
He is so good. Did you see him go down this past weekend too, where he was like laying on the ground for a second?
Yeah.
And he just went back and played good. What was that? Like, it looked like he hurt his ankle or his leg or something.
I didn't
wait on it for a second.
Yeah, he didn't look great. I didn't see the replay for what happened. I just saw him laying down, and then like they went like that. But I think it was
young teenager cells just healed his body.
Well,
like
not for a play. They brought in Tyrod Taylor for a play, and the 2-point conversion.
He almost made it. It was tight. He was running in, and he just got stuffed
wall
right back at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it was not great. I like that. That's funny. All right, so let me ask you, because I have two roads we could go down. I'm gonna let you choose. One is more
Choose your own adventure. I like it.
yeah, choose your adventure. One is more redemptive and more like, oh, that's cool. I like that. Like, oh, it's nice, And the other one is more like, I'm just gonna laugh a lot. And it's
Option two.
Okay. All right. It might be a little inappropriate. So
Okay, that's fine.
This is not safe for work. People always want to, I want to warn people, if you're listening to the podcast, I'm going to describe things. I'm not doing them. This is just what it says on the tweet.
Oh man, you're starting to make me want option one. Oh Lord.
It's in our DMs.
NFSW. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, okay. I gotta get there. So give me a second. I gotta go back to my DMs. Tell me if you can see my DMs. And
our show is rated explicit on iTunes, so
yeah, it is. Right.
Yeah, I can see your DMs. You're doing good.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, is this Donald Trump jerk off video?
No. I'm trying to get to. Okay. Yeah. Here it is. This is mine.
Okay.
I guess it's safe for work, but
okay.
Gerald is joining us on the phone right now.
So it's. It is.
Yes. I haven't seen this. I didn't watch this.
Oh, you didn't see it? Okay.
No.
So it's election night coverage.
That's awesome.
Right. It's
you got to set it up for the listeners.
And Wolf Blitzer. Wolf Blitzer is and the hard part is you can't see what I wrote, right? And so Wolf Blitzer is throwing it. He's talking, and then they pan over.
This is real. This happened.
I don't think this is real. I think this is a plan.
Okay.
And I'm blanking on this guy's name now because I'm laughing. Is this John? What's his last name?
John King. Is that John King?
Yeah,
I can't see.
John King. Yeah, I'll pull it up. So I wrote, "Mom checking out the web history on the family computer."
Okay.
And then. So we're in the studio in CNN or wherever, and John King is at the board, and it shows a part of the country in blue and red, and then on the screen there's a Pornhub sticker, like an ad has popped up on the screen, and so I'll describe it. I'm gonna push play.
Gerald is joining us on the phone right now.
He throws. John King throws the Pornhub thing off the screen, goes out into his pocket, pulls out his notes, and starts taking notes down on his tablet. Very dismissive. He does a squinty eye away from it. It's great. I think
that looks so real.
It looks so real.
So real.
It looks so real. And so I just made the joke, Mom checking out the web history on the family computer. Mom sees that Pornhub, whatever. She just takes notes. Gets rid of it, takes a note. So I thought that was worth a laugh.
Congratulations, sir. You have won week 9's 3 tweets. I would like to hear your redemptive tweet.
Oh, good. So let me go get it. I didn't put it in the feed because I wasn't sure if I was going to win, but it's been getting a little traction today in my feed.
Okay.
So let me actually go to my notifications and see, because you get some tweets that just blow up, so. Hopefully I can find. Oh yeah, here it is. You're gonna love this. Check this out.
Oh yeah, I watched this, Jamie. This is tight.
Yeah, go back. Okay, so a guy jumps on a trampoline, goes to a skateboard, balance beam to another trampoline, 1 foot on a roll, ball bounce, tire over onto a barbell that rolls. He jumps off that onto a beanbag, onto a bench, runs on the bars, rides a bike across beams, jumps off it onto weights he runs across, jumping over hurdles onto different objects, onto a trampoline, single roll, 2 feet, jumps onto another table, walks a tightrope, bouncing a ball. By the way, he's wearing a mask the whole time.
This is just straight coronavirus 2020, what you do with your life if you on a
tire, backflips onto a balance beam, and he sticks the landing.
Yeah, I saw this. This is. I wonder how many times he tried to do that.
and then he collapsed. So yeah,
that was probably the 300th time.
it probably was the 300th time. So yeah, so for me, I thought that was the redemptive. No, we were not going to go DT. You know, we're done with DT. I think that's kind of what we figured out. And God bless America. So yeah, that's.
God bless America. Let's stay united, folks.
Please.
Love everybody. Love our listeners. And you got your plugs. Do your plugs.
I would just say no hate, procreate. You know what I'm saying? And then pay your fair share in taxes, especially if you're a corporate entity who's offshore loading.
Wear a condom. Don't spread AIDS.
Of course. Right. Yeah. Reach around if you're in the business. You know, give it. Yeah. Anyway. So on that note, please check out my guy, Bo_McBigTime on Twitter. Follow him there on Twitter. Buy his Hotbox brand hot sauce. It's delicious. Go to hotboxbatch.com for that. He also has merch. You can get merch there as well. He's got some nice merch. And, I'm wanting some for Christmas. Told Rose to get me some for Christmas. You can also get his hot sauce. He's the man. You can check us out, me and Mike, at thefantasymillionaires.com. This podcast will be up there if you're just tuning into the end or any part of it. Go back and listen to it again. And then also I'm Nimble W Numbers at Twitter. He is the Ralph Macho at Twitter. And then I am also nimblewnumbers.com. Go there for DFS. Go there for Bo McBigtime's Bonos every week. And seriously, this is important. We have an opportunity now as a country to come together and forgive each other. Doesn't mean we don't hold people accountable, though. And it's important. Forgiveness and accountability are two things that go hand in hand, because when you forgive people, people acknowledge that they need forgiveness oftentimes, and there's a healing process. So, don't just go, oh, yeah, now we're all going to forget. Either forgiveness needs to happen as well. So make sure you can forgive people. That's a good step personally to kind of move past some of the things, personal offenses and slights that maybe have caused rifts in your league or in your life or anything. Just forgive.
Yeah. Yep. And wear a condom and don't spread AIDS too.
Well, both of those things. Right. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. I love it, Mike. I will see you next week here at 9:30 every single Monday night until the Super Bowl. After
week 10. We're coming down the home stretch.
Halfway done. All right.
Love it,
man. See you next week.
Peace.
Peace.